Hey guys, I'm Boot. We're in New Jersey. Let's love and hate stuff today. So guys, I thought I'd bring back a little classic and hope you guys enjoy this one. Let me know down in the comments if you have any thoughts, or don't forget to tap that like button. Anyways, let's get into it. Today, I want to talk a little bit about the craziness surrounding the assassination attempt and the missing Biden. So, funny enough, we had the assassination attempt, and, there are many questions being asked, and the Secret Service director even stepped down because she was being badgered on the stand and everything else. And they kept saying it's been 9 days. It's been 9 days. And it's like, yes, there were a group of agents in the field who failed to do their task and protect Donald Trump. As much as I don't like the guy, I don't want to see him dead. Of course, there's a lot of jokes going around, and I myself am guilty of what a missed opportunity. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, yeah, no, that's a little bit too fucked up. Like, I'm not looking forward to the death of Donald Trump. I don't wish him any harm, as much as I think he's not the greatest person, not the greatest president we've ever had. There's a underbelly of things that happen with these people, presidents, politicians in general. We've seen a lot of it this year with the scandals with Trump, with the scandals in New Jersey with Bob Menendez, and it's scary. It's absolutely scary in this day and age that this kind of thing can happen. The assassination attempt has really made me kind of go back and look into, other assassinations and assassination attempts. And let me get to the point. Reagan, there's a assassination attempt on the books on Reagan. And it was funny because watching his debate, we saw him speak to a question that was asked of him. At the time, he was the oldest serving president. John F. Kennedy spent many sleepless nights working on the Cuban Missile Crisis, and they wanted to know if Reagan would be up to the task of, sleepless nights or even weeks dealing with the things going on in the world at the time, which I believe was work with Gorbachev and the Berlin Wall coming down. But this was before his second term. And he said the classiest thing, which was,
"You already are the oldest president in history, and some of your staff say you were tired after your most recent encounter with Mr. Mondale. I recall yet that President Kennedy had to go for days on end with very little sleep during the Cuba Missile Crisis. Is there any doubt in your mind that you would be able to function in such circumstances?"
Not at all, Mr. Truitt, and I want you to know that also I will not make age an issue of this campaign. I am not going to exploit for political purposes my opponent's youth and inexperience.
like a boss. Ronald Reagan was an actor, so he was quick. He was quick on his feet, quick to come up with stuff, and in one of those times, right after his assassination attempt, he was out in public, and
we're reminded of the many traditions of openness and democracy that have marked the history of this city. America missed me.
Missed me, and then went back to reading his speech like a boss. Trump, after getting, shot at and hit with shrapnel, everybody saw the fist. Everybody saw him put a fist in the air. It's kind of strange because, when in a perfect world, in the world we live in and we're shown, this was an assassination attempt by a person who was disgruntled, and definitely not mentally stable. Unfortunately, these kind of things happen and they fall by the wayside, and that's a sad truth in our country today, is that a lot of this is just, whatever. But then there's the other side, the crazier side, and that is that the assassination attempt was made and there was lack of security for, former President Trump. And could it have been something they could have avoided? Absolutely. Seeing all the footage of people showing the cops that he's climbing on the roof. The cop jumped down almost a minute before he fired and saw the guy point a gun at him and didn't call it in on an official channel to the Secret Service, who was there to protect the president, the most important person in the venue? I don't understand that. Even the Pope has a bulletproof car, a bulletproof dome. Why don't we do that with the President of the United States? Why don't we take those precautions? You know, it's nice to have the Secret Service there to know there's that theater of security, but that's all it ended up being, was a theater of security. It was a theater performance. You know, from where the snipers were, there was a tree in the way. They couldn't see this guy on the roof from where they were, but this building was the main staging area. So why did they not protect the main staging area where they were working out of, where the ground team was working out of, aside from the field teams on the roof? They were coordinating everything from that building. Why was it not secured? That makes no sense to me. Moving on from that, we will go to Joe Biden. So there was a video I put out maybe a few weeks ago where they were talking about the debate, and I you know, kind of may have fallen to media a little bit and conspiracy and you know, craziness, but you know, we have to look at it this way. Joe Biden was in Vegas. Secret Service put out an order to the police in the area to lock down the streets so they could get him safely to a hospital. Then it was canceled as he was going to be medevaced to a hospital. He was not medevaced to a hospital. He was instead taken by Air Force One to his home or a hospital in the East Coast. That sounds a little weird to me, but I mean, if he has doctors that he regularly sees, things like that. I mean, being the President of the United States, you'd think they have those guys like on the ready. You know what I mean? Especially having COVID and having to travel. I digress. We get this social media post with a letter, you know, stating basically he's dropping out of the race. You know, he's endorsing Kamala. Weird signature, no presidential seal, and it's on social media. That's weird. That's just really sketchy. Now, nobody has seen Joe Biden since then, and it's assumed that there was some kind of medical emergency and he is possibly in bad shape or passed away. There was a phone call with Kamala Harris in a meeting, and it was a press conference, and he was talking through the speakerphone, and as Kamala starts to say, "Are you there on the recording?" and she catches herself and says, "Phone call."
It is so good to hear our president's voice. Joe, I know you're still on the call. Still on the call.
And his voice, it just doesn't seem right. Like he's repeating himself.
We love Joe and Jill. We really do. They truly are like family to us. And we do. Everybody here does. You're not going anywhere, Joe.
I'm watching you, kid. I'm watching you, kid. I love you.
I love you, Joe.
He says very little, and it's very odd, as if it is a recording. You know what I mean? As if it is a recording. Talking about how much, you know, they love Joe and his wife and this and his family and blah, blah, blah. And it's just very odd. It just seems very theatrical and strange to me. And then as Joe Biden continues to speak, he has a slight hard time speaking, but not as hard as his general, like, speaking in public. But the woman's reaction is what makes me feel like it's disingenuous. It's a recording. It's something they knew about, because she just stands there, rolls her eyes, and just, you know, like gives this look like, oh, I can't wait to get out of here. I don't know. I don't really know. It's one of those things that could be true, kind of like the royal, you know, disappearance last year. So yeah, it's very strange. And you know, I sat there a couple weeks ago and stated how, you know, he was okay mentally. It was just, you know, his speech impediment and this and that and the other. And now I don't really feel that way anymore. I feel a little less confident in his ability to lead this country. I feel a little less confident that we have a good future moving forward with either Kamala Harris or Donald Trump. It's very possible that Donald Trump could do some great things. It's very possible that Kamala Harris could do some great things. but I don't trust either one of them as far as I can throw them, and I'm not very strong as I get older. Anyways, I think that's about all for this rambling session today, but I'm just gonna, step out of this two-party bullshit system and vote third party. And, it may be a wasted vote, but I vote how I believe, and I don't believe in either one of these two candidates to make things better. I think, Trump does a few things really well. He doesn't take crap from anybody, he does that really well. And that puts us in a really good position, with the dealings with Putin and other adversaries across the globe, other allies, who are dangerous, who could make stupid mistakes and screw everything up for everybody on the planet by being stupid enough to try to use nuclear weapons or something stupid like that. And ultimately it just comes down to mutually assured destruction at that point, which we're all gone anyway. One missile launches, everybody's going to launch, and it's over. The world is done. The only people left will be on the ISS, and that's if they don't get nuked out of the sky either. Anyways, that's enough rambling for me today. Thank you guys for liking, commenting, and subscribing. Leave your thoughts down below in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.